What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Almost episode 100. Can you believe that? Yeah, I think I need a hobby. Anyway. Not cutting that up. That is authentic me. Today, boom. AAA1E2R3, a name I've said many times on Black Dragon Gaming. A name I've stumbled on several times that you haven't heard because I've edited it out in Black Dragon Gaming. Requests we talk about the Sunsoul variant of the Ifrit. Ready to praise the sun? Yeah, look no further. We got you. If you're liking what you're seeing, do remember to like, do remember to subscribe, do dingeth that bell. Today, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review is brought to you in part by Daniel Barker. Thanks for your support, man. We miss you at Carrion Crown. Now let's hit it. Okay, so follow this card right here if you don't know what the Ifrit is. We covered that not super long ago. Let us first talk about Deloreans Sun. Of course, it functions basically the same way as our sun does, but with the growing of the plants and the keeping us from freezing and stuff, so that's neato. Deloreans Sun actually has inhabitants. Think fire elementals that resemble dolphins, plasma oozes ranging in size from elephants to mountains, up to and including non-native species that have entered the sun through temporary portals from the plane of fire. And that's where you get the Sunsoul Ifrit. With fire comes light, and the brightness of the Sunsoul comes both from their affinity for positive energy and their own luminous attitudes. Where others despair, they labor on, they're strong leaders, which draws them to powerful nations or crusading regions. Unlike a lot of the planar things, Sunsouls cannot easily hide their presence. I mean, look at this dude. He's alive with the fire and the glory of the sun, and like, unless you just cover that whole thing up, right? We all know. However, most would rather not even do it in the first place. Most Sunsouls have fair hair, often nearly white, and eyes that glow with a twinkle all their own. Some seem to glow from within, and let's talk about them, shall we? So much like an Ifrit, your age, height, and weight are determined from the race that you sprang from. Came from a halfling, you're a little shorter, and have some mechanical benefits. Came from a half-orc, well, green luminescence isn't the weirdest thing on Galarian. Yeah, you're fine, cool. The maximum age for your Ifrit is 250 plus 6 percentage dice worth of years. And now let's look at that character sheet, shall we? So of course, this is a variant. This is an Ifrit with a little different mechanical flavor. We're still medium native outsiders, assuming we came from medium parents with a base speed of 30 feet. We still resist 5 points of fire. We still have dark vision out to 60 feet. After that, it's all different. The Sunsoul Ifrit receives a +2 to strength and charisma, but suffers a -2 to wisdom. In lieu of Burning Hands, they may cast Sun Metal as a spell-like ability once a day, and rather than Fire Affinity, we're looking at Solar Affinity, which functions as and sets right on top of Fire Affinity. Rather than tracking the Elemental Fire Bloodline, or the Fire Domain, we're looking at the Celestial Bloodline, or the Sun Domain. Though, of course, there are a lot of other bloodlines you could reasonably take on an Ifrit, I feel like. Almost had a Sunsoul Ifrit in Carrion Crown, came this close to it, and that spot is definitely still open. If that player would like to come back and help us burn some ghosts with the holy fire of Sarenrae. Also, that's definitely the first thing that comes to my mind when I think something that comes from the sun. The goddess of the sun in Pathfinder's setting. Sarenrae is the light of the world, and you're a child of that light. A child of that light who certainly stands out everywhere they go. To be honest, based on their description, I have to wonder if these guys don't literally put off light out like 5 feet because they're literally burning with the light of the sun. Now, of course, as far as the stats go, this plays right into a paladin, a sorcerer, a blood rager. Strength and charisma looks pretty good. I have an Ifrit paladin in my back pocket, and definitely the Sunsoul looks a little better than the base Ifrit did, so I think that's what I would do. If I was going to play a Sunsoul Ifrit, I would just finagle the flavor around and, well, my Ifrit father came from the sun rather than just from, like, say, Katapesh or whatever desert region we happen to be inhabiting. Certainly the paladin can look a little better with that heavy armor proficiency with a strength buff rather than a dex buff, but y'all know how I feel about that. What do you guys think about this race? Have we played him? Have we GM'd for him? What race would you like to see next on the Forgotten Race Review? Put it down in the comments. Remember, patronage at any tier gets you up to the front of that line. and gets you access to our documents for min-maxing for fun and profit, as well as simple guides for the more math-based classes in Pathfinder 1st Edition. That's a new thing. Just decided to do that today. In any case, next time on the Forgotten Race review, we'll be going to a whole bunch of third-party from Wright Publishing's In the Company of Fiends, the Nephilim. See you then.